For All Mankind. We're in the season 4 finale. The episode's called Perestroika, and I think for the first time in a For All Mankind finale, nobody died. In fact, a character that I thought died in the last episode turned out to just be in a coma. So even with that, there's a lot of moments where, like, you think a character's dead or they're about to die or something like that, but, like, just at the last second, it's like, oh, it's a fake out, or, oh, okay, good, they're okay. And with all of the death that I've come to expect from a For All Mankind season finale, I am actually glad that they didn't kill anybody off, because pretty much every time they do that, every time they kill somebody off, it's a character that I really like. And they did kill off Sergei last episode, and that was very sad. But that was kind of the thing that caused the asteroid heist ultimately to work. The episode is dealing with the NASA has discovered the asteroid heist and process, and so the M7 nations are all investigating it. There are KGB and CIA operatives on Mars that are performing enhanced interrogation on one of the on the black market guy, on Miles, to get him to give up everybody else. They find the Ghost Operations Center where they were like going to send the alternate burn instructions to the ship. And so that gets foiled, but they've still got Samantha is on the ship. And so they're like, oh, we need you to climb outside and like go and do something on an outside panel while the burn is happening so that we can extend it by 5 minutes. But then another guy shows up because he sees her doing that, and they have a whole big fight out on the side of a spaceship that is actively in burn. Like they are feet away from the exhaust of a rocket, where if they were in an atmosphere, they'd have burned up just because of, you know, convection. But because they're in a vacuum, if you don't touch the fuel exhaust, you're basically fine. So like the characters would get like right up to it. Like you see a panel fly off of the ship and gets incinerated as soon as it falls into the fuel intake. Now, one thing that I was noticing at first, because when they said, okay, the ship's now in burn, and I was expecting them to have the characters not float in the ship, because while it's under acceleration, they are under G-forces. And I was thinking, well, if the G-forces are like, they could just say it's the burn is like 1G, right? So that the characters could just, you know, hang on to things. But then I remembered that they are hauling an asteroid. So even though the burn is probably a very strong thrust, because they're hauling an asteroid that has a ton of mass, the thrust is actually very minimal. Like Samantha, while she's like climbing outside the ship to hit the panel and stuff, she just basically has to pull herself up every once in a while. She's only drifting by a little bit. It's just a very minor pull. Once I saw that and realized that they're pushing an asteroid, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. There's like so many moments where you think, okay, they can't send the transmission, but Samantha's on the ship, so she can get the panel, but they send the other guy, and he goes and tries to fight her off, but I think she ends up like knocking him off, and you think he's gone into the exhaust, but he's still tethered, and he's hanging out in space like inches away from the exhaust. But then NASA, back in Houston, they're able to figure out a way to send a transmission to bypass the regulator and hard shut off the engines. But then Margot and Aleda, once Aleda finds out that Sergei has been killed and tells Aleda is like, we can't let the asteroid come to Earth. We have to, because Aleda had like, I mean, sorry, not Aleda. Margot became a traitor to the United States basically to save Sergei's life. Margot has always cared first and foremost about the people and about the science. And if everything that she has done to this point to get Sergei out ended up for naught because the KGB just assassinated him anyway, she's not going to play nice with them. And she recognizes, as as Devaesa and his heist team have been doing, she recognizes that if the asteroid doesn't go to Mars, that Mars is going to be abandoned. So as NASA is writing its code to do an emergency shutoff, she and Aleda basically go and hijack the code to make sure that the burn continues on. So it's just like this whole series of, oh no, it's not going to complete the burn. Oh no, it is going to. Ultimately, it was Margot and Aleda who finally saved the day and joined up with Dev and Ed. So, as I had talked about, there had been the running story with Kelly, Ed's daughter, who has been, trying to find life on Mars. And I predicted that we would not know for sure what she found. And last episode, they had a brief thing where she was talking about the findings and how they're inconclusive. And so I was like, okay, well, my prediction was sort of right, but I thought that was going to be what the ending was. So I said, okay, there's still probably going to be something more to it, though, but they're not going to tell us what. And just like every other season finale, we get a time jump at the end of it. Last season jumped from 1995 to 2003. This one jumps to 2012, as we see Dev Issa in a spacesuit on the surface of Mars, looking up as he can see the Goldilocks asteroid orbiting Mars, and the camera zooms out, and he is standing at the edge of the crater where they were looking for life. And that's how the season ends. So, like I said, they were going to leave it ambiguous, but it seems very much that the focus of next season is going to be on that search for life. Now, I don't know if the whole next season is going to be set on Mars, because they seem to be doing a thing, because like if we look at the formula of the show so far, the first season was, them getting the moon program up and running and being pioneers on the moon and getting the first moon base set up like that. And then the second season was the moon base is in full swing. And here are all the political issues that they are dealing with, competing with the Russians. And then in third season, well, the moon stuff, that's all been resolved now. The race is on to Mars. Who's going to make it to Mars first? And how are they going to survive on the Martian surface with, ships crashing and limited resources and all that? And in season 4, well, Mars has a whole big sprawling base built up and like a $1 trillion company that is, hiring workers to do mining there and stuff. So Mars is well developed. So you would think for season 5 that the plot would be, where do you go next? But where you go next here is probably a search for life. And if life is just on Mars, well, then you found it. So I don't necessarily know that there is going to be life there. But there are other planetary and moon bodies in the solar system that you can look. There are multiple moons of Jupiter, I think, that have liquid water under the surface that you could send probes out to and look at stuff like that. So I think they might be going that way. But in previous seasons, they've basically always at least explicitly showed what the next season was going to be about. And so at the end of season 2, when they flash forward to 1995, they show a boot stepping on the surface of Mars. So we knew that season 3 was going to be about going to Mars. And with season 4 ending still on Mars, I guess maybe they're not, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell where they're going with it. Obviously, there's going to be search for alien life. It's probably not going to be intelligent life, not in the solar system anyway, but this is a sci-fi show where they start out very, very grounded in their science, but each season they have done things like, oh, we've got cold fusion now, or oh, now we've got this new improved engine that we don't go into too big of a detail on, but it means travel between planets is a lot easier. And, just little things like that, little things that make the rigors of space travel easier to deal with. And so I wouldn't put it past them to at some point have them just invent warp drive and go and visit other star systems, especially because the last season is planned to be set in the future. So maybe they'll meet aliens. Who knows? Actually, I know a lot of people talk about this show that it feels like it's a prequel to The Expanse. And if you've never seen The Expanse, that is a really solid show that I need to go back and watch the rest of, because I think I stopped watching at the season 3 finale. And that's another really good show. I can definitely see from The Expanse how somebody could watch For All Mankind and go, oh yes, this is the prequel. But yeah, For All Mankind season 4 is done. I don't know when season 5 is going to come out. Probably in a year or year and a half, there-ish abouts. We'll see. I think we're still going to see Ed Baldwin next season, even though he's already just not looking good in his old man makeup now, and they're jumping ahead another 9 years, but we'll see. Anyway, that has been For All Mankind Season 4, and I look forward to reviewing the next season when it shows up. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. And drop a comment below telling me what you thought of the video. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 2, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whaled Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.